Hi, David here, CEO and founder of the Freedom Founders Mastermind community. There are three categories of people who reach out to us to learn more about what is Freedom Founders about, what do we do, who do we help, is the investment worth it, is the time worth it? These are great questions, and are questions that I would also ask of any group or educational aspect that I would be engaging in myself. These are great questions. Great. And so the categories are this. There are a certain number of people who reach out because of our reputation. Freedom Founders has a stellar reputation about who we are, our authenticity, what we do to lead our tribe. So our reputation precedes us. Nevertheless, that doesn't mean that people should just acknowledge what we do as something relevant for them until they ask more questions. So some people reach out and have a call with one of our team members, maybe even come to one of our events as a guest, as we often offer those who are pre-qualified to do, to see if there's relevance. And that particular person may say, hey, love what you're doing. You guys are really good. You have a great reputation. But I believe my current plan, whatever that plan is on track. And that plan oftentimes has to do with being invested through the traditional models of 401ks and retirement accounts and annuities and mutual funds, and maybe even some real estate ventures. I call them adventures, investments, but they can be adventures for people who jump into them without knowing a lot. They may feel like those are on track, and maybe not so much now in this recent period of time where we've gone through market changes throughout the economy. But up until probably last year, there was a lot of people who said, hey, I think I'm still on track. My financial advisor thinks I'm good, but I was interested in what you guys do here, so thanks for letting me jump in. And no thanks. I think I got this. Okay, perfect. That's category one. Category two are people who are definitely not sure of their plan. In fact, many of those people who express the fact that they have a financial advisor, they've got the 401k, and their financial advisor basically, when this colleague, this doctor, asks their financial advisor, well, how are we doing? Many times I hear this kind of magical number. Well, you'll be good until age 92, as long as, that's the but, as long as there's not like a market downturn like we had in the great financial crisis in 2008, or like we're probably going to see before the end of this year. As long as we don't have one of those, then where you are right now, you're probably set up till 92. Well, what exactly does that mean? Well, that means basically, as long as you maintain some reasonable lifestyle, as long as we don't have higher inflation costs, because they're still looking at inflation at 2% or under. Well, that's out the door. I don't think we're ever going to get back to 2%. So the algorithms the financial advisors are using anyway are off. They haven't put in for all the additional healthcare costs, the higher taxes we're going to have, all these things they have not plugged in their program. So even this number 92 probably makes no sense, but they still plug 92 in, and that's if you maintain your lifestyle and don't go extravagant. Nothing else really sets you back, like a market correction or higher costs. And by 92, I guess you're supposed to die, and the money runs out right there the same day. Well, that's not a game plan that I like. And so that's where category two comes in. It's like, we've been really working hard. We've been disciplined about putting money away in our brokerage accounts or our 401k, but this doesn't sound like a reliable plan. So what do you guys do at Freedom Founders? Why are people talking about what you do as being a better plan? I'm very interested. And so they'll come, maybe, again, come to an event, go through some of our trainings, and realize it's a good plan, but they'll say this to us is, great, I think I can do this by myself. And my response would be, yes, I bet you can, because you had to go through everything you had to do to get through dental school or whatever pathway you had to traverse to get to the other side of running your business. There was a lot of work to be done. You've proven yourself that you can do it. But my question back to them is, at what cost? Now, when we're young, we know we have to pay a price to go through to get the education, the certifications, the licenses that we have to. That's part of the process. We expect that. But how about when you're in your 40s, 50s, approaching 60s? Is that the time you're going to go and sacrifice the time, what I call trial and error, and trying to figure this thing out, which, yes, you can do with enough time, but do you have the time to give and the potential setbacks that you're going to go through in a trial and error process? These are people who I don't think have ever experienced the opportunity to collaborate with other people or be with a tribe or a community who is like-minded and going in the same direction. Everybody on their own path, but going in the same direction and using the collaborative leverage of a group, the experience, the wisdom, the resources, keeping the guardrails on so that you don't make a major misstep and have to go back in time to try to rebuild what's been lost because of the trial and error aspect. These are people who probably go back out in the world and try it and end up 2, 3 years, 4 years down the road still frustrated that things haven't worked out the way they were supposed to, because they've been working hard, doing good work in their business or their practice, but for some reason it just didn't work out. Category 3, people who, again, come to us for the same reason that Category 2 does, because they believe as hard as they've been disciplined in putting money away in the traditional model, again, financial advisor really can't give them certainty. It's all about a depletion model, and who wants that when you've worked hard all your life? You don't want to kill the golden goose. You want the golden goose to keep producing those eggs and produce bigger eggs for really an extended period of time, indefinitely. That's what we want. But the traditional model is let's start chopping the golden goose, and hopefully there's enough goose left to get you to age 92 using what the model's been. Now, these people come to Freedom Founders, check us out, and husband and wives, typically they come together. The spouse, usually the skeptical one. Oftentimes it's the female. I'm not being gender specific here, but that's usually the case because females are more protective. They have sixth sense, and they'll come to our meetings and they'll actually be hitting in the ribs their hardworking husband, who's tried all kinds of things in his life to try to get ahead with the financial planning. Probably tried crypto. Probably tried multi-level marketing. I mean, I've heard it all, right? They're trying hard, but nothing's ever stuck because there's never been a plan. It's always been bright, shiny object syndrome. And she, the protector, is sick and tired of, as good a man as he is and a hard worker, he's just been throwing things out there in random, and nothing's ever stuck. Now she comes to a meeting where she's able to, with her sixth sense, realize that this is a community that not only has a great plan and blueprint and processes in place, but also a place where there's a culture. There's a culture where people share, collaborate, and give, and there's social proof of history and track record. That's what sells her, and she has to almost twist his arm to say, okay, this is what you need to do, pal. Let's get on it. Those are the people who realize that gaining experience has a cost no matter what way you do it. I gained a lot of experience early in my life, as most of you did, just by giving my time towards my business, learning how to do that better, becoming a better dentist and a business operator, those things you just have to learn, and maybe getting some education and coaching along the way, but had to do that with my own investments in real estate. Yeah, I started very much as a solopreneur in that regard. Started small, didn't take any big gambles, certainly made some errors, but learned that way, and that was fine. But today, if you're in your mid-40s, 50s, 60s, you've got to be like me, valuing time much more than I did back when I was in my 20s or 30s. Today, I should be able to take the fruits of my hard work and invest those fruits, invest those dollars in the opportunity to gain speed or buy back my time to get from this point to this point. Now, I have to check out and do the due diligence to make sure that's the right path, but once I do, to me, it's a no-brainer. When I can buy time today in any aspect of my life, gosh, whether that's just taking care of the household, a personal assistant who does errands, or a virtual assistant who does bookkeeping and other tasks for me, I gladly invest my money in those people, because buying back time is one of the most important things I do. And a lot of people, hardworking people, went through school, built a business, are still so frugal. They think it's frugal, they think it's being conservative, and I get it, but it's actually going backwards. And when you learn that there's ways that you can invest your capital that actually elevates you to a position where you've got more time and you can actually be working on the things that are more important to you than just doing the task work that we typically get involved in every day, you realize that that's a better investment. And that's what Category 3 does. These are the people who join the tribe and are the ones who comment on a regular basis, I'm so glad I'm here. In fact, the big comment we get most of the time is, I only wish I'd found you sooner. So those are 3 categories. You can kind of put yourself in what category you may fit in, and realize that we're happy to talk to anybody who has an interest. But we'll probably try to assess with you what category you're in, and save time. Save time, and maybe give you even some pointers or direction if you're a category 1 or 2, some things you can think about to hopefully help you move the needle to where you want to go, which is about freedom and options sooner, not later. And then category 3, we're happy to invite you to come to one of our events, bring you into our tribe, and show you how relevant we probably are to you with where you are in your life. That's all I got today, but that's a big part of what I see in our model and who we get to help in Freedom Founders. Hope that's helpful to you.